Well, hi everybody. This is Crystal, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite OneNote features. That would be tables. So stick with me. I'm going to tell you 12 terrific table tips today. Well, hi everyone. This is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. As I said at the top of this video, one of the things that I love about OneNote is the use of tables, okay? One of the reasons that I love tables is because I use OneNote not only on my desktop here that I show you each week, but I also use it on my iPad and my phone. I have had lots of requests to share like a vlog of day in my life of how I use OneNote on the various devices that I have. I'm working on filming some of that. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know if I can get that together. But today I want to talk to you about 12 terrific table tips and reasons that I use tables so much in OneNote. So if you think that's an interesting topic, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Like really is a great compliment for you to leave me. Hit that subscribe button, please. It is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Turn those notification bells all the way on so that you don't miss any of our Friday videos. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Well, as you can see here on my screen, blank slate, I am starting with a brand new clean page. The only thing that I have on this page is my background graphic of my notebook, and I have all of my little tabs across the top here that take me to the various pages. Important pages across the top and daily pages down the side, okay? If you would like to know how all of this was created, I have a video playlist that starts with 2024 and how I set all of this up. I'll leave that linked up above and the description. You are welcome to go and check those out. I know a lot of you have been creating your own notebooks and you've sent me pictures and you have shared your excitement about being able to do that. So I am very happy that you all are finding this helpful. All right, back to tips for tables. All right, here we go. I'm going to start at the very beginning so that if you're new here in OneNote and you want to start using tables, I want to show you some very simple ways to create a simple table, okay? I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation here. Let's say, you know, it is coming up at the beginning of, you know, summer and I want a new project started. So I'm looking at, I don't know, buying a new camera for filming for Crystal Clear Life, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to start researching, of course, because that's just the kind of person that I am. And I could just start this blank page and I could just, you know, title it camera research, that kind of thing. And I could start copying a lot of text from, you know, whatever site I might be looking at, Amazon or whatever, for that particular camera. But sometimes when you just put all of that stuff on the screen, it starts to get a little hard to read and it gets all spread out everywhere. So what I like to do is I kind of like to start with a table. So I'm going to put, let's see, well, I'm going to do maybe the item, okay, that I'm looking for, which might be different, you know, cameras that I'm looking at. And so I'm going to just go somewhere on the screen and type the word item like I did here. But then if I hit the tab key, watch what happens. It turns it from being just a text box into a table. Okay, so now I can write, you know, maybe this is the price of the item and the location of the item. And every time I hit tab, it adds another column on the side, okay? So right now I have 4 columns, okay? So item, price, location, maybe benefits for that, okay? And then if I hit enter, you see it gives me a second now row in my column. So this is where I can start filling in information about the things that I want to collect that research information for about the cameras. Now you might look at this and you might say, but that's an awful small table. Well, all I need to do is go into this container here, and you see as I hover my mouse over the lines between the columns, I get arrows that point in both directions, and I can simply press down my left mouse button and drag that and make this as big or as small as I want. Maybe the price doesn't need to be that big because I'm not going to spend that much money on, but maybe I want my link to be there, and then maybe this benefits thing needs to be a little bit bigger. So I can start, how much memory does it have? And does it have a flip screen? And, all that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So there is a good start for, setting up a table. Now, that is one of the easy ways to create a table in OneNote. All right. There are, again, in OneNote, multiple ways to do everything. And you guys are really good about sharing other ways. If I show one or two ways, you guys have 2 or 3 other ways that you always leave in the description box below, which I think is great. Go ahead and leave those tips that you have for tables down below so that we can all learn from each other. Okay? Another way that I like to set up tables is I like to go in here and up to the table feature, which is on the insert menu. And when I down click that, you can do the same kind of thing. You can say I want 4 columns, by 3 rows, and that will give you a table that looks like this, and you can start filling it in. It works the same way, okay? A third way that I do columns or tables on my pages when I create them is up here in my quick access toolbar. I have a column insert thing here, and so I can just click that and it brings up the little insert menu here and says how many rows. I'll say, how many columns. I'll say 4 columns, and let's do 3 rows. Let's do 4 rows so that you know that this one is different. Okay, and so you can see here that it creates columns and rows for various tables all in the same way. I can still manipulate all of those like that. Okay, and it's just a different way of doing it. Whichever way you like to do it is fine. Okay, let's get rid of some of these extra columns and extra tables. All right, now another thing that I like to do, this is tip number 2 if you're keeping track. Another thing that I like to do is I like to add color to my tables. The reason that I like to do that is because it will draw my attention to that information pretty quickly. So the easiest way to do that is table shading. Usually what I do is I highlight across the top like this, and I go up to the table menu, which is right here. And again, there are shortcuts for doing this. I'm just showing you the most direct way. On that table menu up at the top, you can see all the way over here shading, and when you click on that, this box comes up with all the colors. You can choose the standard colors for your theme, standard colors here, recent colors that you may have used, or more colors, which brings up this so that you can choose colors, or you can even go to custom colors and pick something. You can even change it. Whatever you want to do, whichever colors you like, you can choose. Okay? All right. Now, that's cool. I like that. Sometimes your tables might need to be customized a little bit farther. Let's take a look here, and let's say if we were to customize this font, I could make it any font that I like. Maybe that's a good one. And let's make it a little bit larger so that it stands out. I can bold it if I want. I can even change the color if I want. So let's go in here and let's make it white so that stands out. I can even formatting it by doing the justification. So here it is aligned to the left, but maybe I want it centered so it looks something like that. Okay? All kinds of things that you can do. I think that's great. That's one of the ways that I love to organize information. Think about this if you were a student, how you could organize your notes for what you were learning. Anyway, I digress. Let me stick with what I'm doing here. So tip number 3 is that you can really customize your tables by adding colors, modifying the fonts, all of that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some things in to this particular table. I'm going to quickly jump over to, let's bring Google up here and throw it on this half. And we'll put our OneNote on this side. So now I have a split screen so that I can work a little bit better. And let's say that this is a camera that I'm looking at. It's not really. This is a hypothetical situation. I just went ahead and brought up something so that I could show you this information, okay? So the item, well, I could go ahead and copy this, that it is a 4K camera. Actually, this might be best, this information here might be best for the benefits. So I'm going to copy that information. I'm going to bring it back over here to my table in OneNote, and I am simply going to paste that information there. You notice when I do that, it also gives me the link for where that information came from. I can leave that there if I want to, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. So right now I'm going to get rid of that because that is a little bit too much information. Let's say that I found this on Amazon. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come over here to Amazon and I am going to click the URL and I'm going to copy the URL, and at Amazon I'm going to paste the URL there. Wow, again, that is a long URL. I don't like all of that. That's very hard for me to follow. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up here and I am going to cut this. And I am going to get my menu back up because I want to Control K, which is to insert a link. And I want it to say 4K camera. And I'm going to type that long address or paste that long address into this space right here for the address. And I'm going to say OK. And then it's going to put all of that long information into that little tiny link right there for the 4K camera. Okay. All right. Now, what is the price? It's $109. So that's easy enough to enter. And it is a 4K camera. All right. Now, let's say I want to insert a picture for that. Well, I could just go ahead and insert a picture from here. Let's say I want, double click that. Let's say I want this one, this picture here. But right now I don't have anywhere to put it in my table. Did you know that you can put pictures in a table? Of course you can. So before we take the picture, let's go over here to our table, and I'm going to show you quickly how to modify a table. I'm going to click my mouse right here by the word benefits. I'm going to go up to table, and actually I can even do it faster. I can just right click and say the table menu is right here. I want to insert to the right. Give me another column. Okay, so there is a column and I can say photo. So I have a picture of what this thing is going to look like. I can adjust that so I have room for the photo. Okay, like so. Then I can come back over here to my Amazon order and I can say, oh yeah, that's the picture that I want. I'm going to copy that image. I'm going to bring it back over here. Notice that I've clicked inside my cell and I am going to paste. There we go. There is my picture. I can make it smaller if I want. I can make it bigger if I want. And I think that's great. Now look at how organized this information is on this page about this camera, okay? Now, let's say I want to keep looking and I'm looking for another camera. I come down here to this bottom row, this end column, and I hit the tab key. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me a new row down here below so that I can go back in and start looking at another camera, okay? So I can keep adding things to my table like that, all right? So needing more space, tip number 4, needing more space, add that column on the end. You can also add them at the beginning. Let's say I wanted to go right here next to the price and I wanted to add a column there. I certainly could do that. I can insert something to the left and create another column there. All right, so clicking in that column that I just added, you can go down here to the table feature. You can add things to the right, to the left, above where you're working, below where you're working. You can delete the whole table. You can delete columns going this way. You can delete rows that are going this way. And so, for example, that column I just added, if I want to delete that, I can do that, and it takes care of that entire column. Okay? All right. Okay, so I think this is, there's some great basic features to collecting information and storing that information in tables. Now I want to show you something else. Let's say, I have 3 or 4 different cameras here, and I want to move them around to kind of rank them for myself, maybe from highest to lowest. Now, in Excel, you could go in and you could, sort by this row here or this column here and do it by price. You can't do that kind of sorting in the tables that come with OneNote. They are very, very basic tables, much like you would see in Word or something like that. You can insert an Excel spreadsheet if you would like to. And if you'd like to see a video on how to do that, leave me a comment below and I'd be happy to do a video on that, in the future. That would be fun. But let me show you where I have a lot of projects stored. This is my list of kind of all of my ongoing projects for 2024 and things that I wrote in 2023 and before that I haven't really finished yet, okay? But one thing that I did finish in March is I did finish working on those fidget blanket quilts, okay? So I have this project list, and the top of this list is all of the ongoing projects that I'm working on. Then I have completed projects down here at the bottom, okay? What I want to do is I want to move this fidget quilt blanket project from up here at the top all the way at the bottom, okay? So tip number 5, when you're moving content around, you can use the little gray handles on the side. So let me show you that. Here is the project that I want to move, and you see this little tiny gray handle out here to the side. As I hover over the edge of the project, you can see it come up. And all I need to do is grab that little handle, and you see that it highlights that entire row, and it starts moving it. So I can move it down if it has less priority for what I'm doing right now, or I can move it to a completely different table. I can put it right here at the top of my completed items right there, okay? So very easy to move all of that information from one place to another within a table or into a different table. I think that's absolutely great. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about with tables? I use tables all the time. Let me show you in my April planner back here. That's the page that we created for our our supposed camera purchase. But let's go here to my dashboard. All right, so here in my dashboard, you can see I have a table right here in the middle, and it is my goals area for what I want to get finished in the month of April. I want to finish the otter quilt and deliver it. I want to visit some people that I haven't seen in a long time. And then I always have my list of home tasks. Now again, just like I was talking to you about table shading in the previous table, you can also shade various rows within. So here I like to have one long table, but I break it up into what looks like different sections simply by shading that section to be a different color, okay? So again, all I did here was right click, go to table, shading. I could make it pink if I want. It doesn't matter what color, just like it was before, okay? Now, what do I put here in my home tasks? Well, again, it comes from another table. Let me show you. In my year-long section, I keep a yearly home maintenance checklist, and what I do there is I just write down things that I would like to accomplish for my home in each month. And if you see this table right here, it is set up as 3 columns, and then there are various rows that have the title of the month, and then this is just one big row where I just keep adding more and more information. Could I make this into separate rows under each month? Yes, I could do that. I just chose not to when I was creating this, okay? So all I need to do here is I need to go in and copy this information and move it back to my April dashboard. And under my home tasks, I can click in this space on my table and I can paste it. And there's all of the information. These are the maintenance item things that I need to do around my home for the month of April. Okay, check the pilot light, turn it off on the fireplace, check the smoke alarms, and as it turns out, we have some broken smoke alarms, so we're going to have to be replacing those throughout the house. Doing these routine checks is a good way to find those kinds of things. All right, so you can see other things that are here that have to be done in the month of April. And because it was all stored in one row on the previous table, it is now stored one row on this table. Okay. That's another way to do it. Okay, let me show you multiple rows. Let me show you that. Okay, here's probably one of my favorite things. I love to nest tables within a big table. Okay, you can see here on my screen, this is my April weekly setup, and you can see here that I have all of these columns going down, and within those various columns, I have other tables. Okay, so for example, this first column here, I have, my top focus, my projects that I'm working on for the week, and people that need prayers. In the second one, I have weekly to-do items, and you can see there that all of that comes in as individual rows. Let me show you how I did that. Let me get rid of these for now. I'm going to hit delete. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my basic table that I had there, and what I do is I have a goals page, and for every month, I go through and I set up various goals, things that I would like to get done during the various weeks. Okay, so again, you can see that this is set up as a table. Okay, all right, so I'm going to highlight all of this, and each of these things is on an individual row. It has its own line underneath of it. So again, I'm going to say copy back to week 1 here, and I'm going to go up here to my to-do items, and I'm going to click somewhere, doesn't matter where, but somewhere in one of these 3 cells, and I am going to say paste. And when I say paste, it is OneNote is going to add all of those individual rows there. Because this is the entire row of that table, it puts it in row by row, just like you see it on the other table. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool. Then I have the opportunity to go through here and add this information, check it off, move it around, do whatever I need to do. Okay, so I think that's great. Okay, now you might be asking me, how do I get these nested columns or these nested tables inside of this big table? Well, let me zoom in. I'm going to show you a couple things real quick. Okay, so when I zoom in here, you can see right now I have all of my grid lines, all of my borders on my table showing. And the reason that I have them showing is so that you can see that this really is just a table with all these little tables inside of it, okay? So here's my big table going across the top, and I kind of have this blank header row up there at the top. Then I have a nested table here, and a nested table here in green, and another nested table here in yellow. And each one of these nested tables is in a different column, okay? All right, now, how do I do that? Okay, so I'm going to come down here underneath where it says dinner plans, and I'm just going to click, so that I am outside of the table. And I'm going to come up here to my insert menu, and I'm going to go over to table, and let's do, maybe I want to do exercise plans. I don't know. So let's do another table that's 2 by 8, like so, okay? So that I could do day and workout, okay? And then that would give me enough space. And again, I can modify it. I can do that. I can color shade and do my table shading. Let's use that bright pink that we've been using everywhere. It doesn't really match my page, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. But you can see there, then I have a place where I can record the day of the week and what my workout was, okay? So now this column has 2 nested tables in it. This column over here looks like it's 2 nested tables, but it's not. I really just went in and did table shading part way down, okay? I just went in, table shaded. Again, I'm going to do that pink color so it stands out. I made my text a little bit bigger, okay, so that it, kind of stands out and looks like a new heading, okay? All right, so all of that is great. It works really, really well to create and keep things organized. That's why I do all these tables, is because I like the neatness, I like the way it keeps things organized, and I like to be able to find that information really quickly. Categorizing these things by color, giving them, titles on top of just a general to-do list. I can't deal with just a general to-do list. It's too disorganized for me. I like it broken down into small chunks, okay? All right, I've lost count of what number tip we're on. I'm really bad at that kind of thing. I just have lots and lots to share about tables today. Maybe I'll put a list at the end of all the different tips. Okay, so back to what I was showing you with the nested tables. So you can see here that I have all of my borders turned on, okay? And my cursor now is down here. It's outside one of the tables, which means it's in the big table, not in the little tiny tables, okay? If I go up here to hide borders, which is again on my table menu, so my table menu, hide borders, watch the screen to see what happens. When I do that, it takes away all of the borders from that big table, and now this just looks like a series of small tables that are all together, okay? But instead of being just a small table of all of these, and this is actually a graphic that's in here, they are still all together in this same container, okay? So you can see if I highlight on the gray bar at the top, everything is still in that gray container, meaning if I want to copy and move this somewhere, I can do that very quickly, okay? Now, let me show you that. Okay, we've messed this page up by adding all of this hot pink stuff to it. And what I was trying to do here is get my pages set up based on this picture down here. It's been really rainy, and so I've been doing a lot of sewing. So I thought I would do a sewing or quilting theme for the month of April. So what I did is I picked some beautiful fabric prints. These happen to be from Lori Holt Designs, and some quilt designs and that kind of thing. And I'm just pulling my colors from there. So there's kind of the teal color that's in here, the greens, the yellows, the pinks, that kind of thing. All right. But the reason that I like to do these as a big table is because all I need to do is go through and get these colors set up the way that I want them for 1 week of my month. Then if I go down to week 3, you can see week 3 is set as my very basic, month, which we talked about in last week's video. Going through and setting it up and then making it cute would be a separate video, which is kind of what this is turning into. But if I go back here and I look at the one that I have set up the way that I want, and I go up to my gray box and I highlight the entire thing, you can see all of that table and table shading is all there. And I'm going to right click and say copy. Then I'm going to go to week 3, which was my blue and gray day. And I'm going to click on that container that has all of that in it. And I'm going to say paste. And you see that it magically changes it to the colors that I want, okay? One more time. I have copied this. So click on the whole box, copy. Go to week 4, highlight the whole thing, and paste. And there we go, okay? All right, there are those borders again to show you that that is one giant table. Remember, under borders, you can go to the table menu and hide borders, and they go away. Okay? You like the look of them, turn them back on. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. You know, it's amazing to me. This is very handy, very helpful. I mean, you could even set up a table to use as a form that you could fill out over and over again. For example, let me see. Well, let's do my quilt project notebook that I just set up. So if you look at the planning master for a quilt project, let's zoom in and I'll show you that real quick. And again, this is a form that I would fill out for any new quilt project that I was working on. And you see here that I do have the borders turned on here so that you can see. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 column table. And within it, it has all of these nested columns in there, okay? If I want to get rid of those things and make it look clearer, I can do that. Go up to table, hide borders, and then it is a much cleaner look, okay? But you can use tables to create forms. If you're a teacher and you're creating forms for your students to fill out, this is a great way to do that. If you're doing a project plan like this is a great way to do that. If you're doing something like travel plans, you know, and you want to create a form with your flight number and your hotel and your rental car information and all of that, you can do that, okay? Tables is a great way to organize information, no matter whether it's on a weekly calendar or in a special project that you're doing or in a research project that you're doing, like we started at the top, collecting information about a camera that you might want to purchase. Well, anyway, you look at it, tables are an invaluable resource for organizing information for me here in OneNote. And OneNote has some great tools that you can use to create those tables, to format those tables, to get them to look and to function exactly the way you want them to. There are also some easy ways to organize and move things around within those tables with those little grab bars, those little gray handles on the side to move things up and down. I think that's great. Like I said at the top of the video, you can also embed Excel spreadsheets if you would like, and I have done that in a couple videos. But if you'd like to learn more about embedding Excel spreadsheets and how that might work, leave me a comment down below and I would be happy to work on that project for you. Okay? All right, well, I don't think I could do what I do in OneNote without the use of tables. They are invaluable, and I hope that you have enjoyed these 12, I'll leave them over here, tips for using tables in OneNote. And again, if you have any tips that you would like to leave about tables, please leave them down below so that we can all learn from each other. And until next time, here's hoping that you can have a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.